And here we are in the European, and this is probably stuff that these guys are used to, and we're being surprised left and right, which makes it all that much more interesting for the final World Championship final in Vancouver, when you have North Americans playing, Europeans playing Asia Pacific. What is going to happen? I can't wait to find out. Let's get in. Get that pip going. Picture in picture, of course, brought to you by Mr. MDM0 for that cockpit view.
Yep, working hard over here.
Heck yeah. Take a quick look at some of these decks. Typical build. Flamer, 4SRM6 Artemis on that Hunchback 2C. Let's take a look at some of these gargoyles. They're over on the right flank here with the Timberwolves. 12 small pulse lasers. Very fast-moving assault. Both of them bringing 12 small pulse lasers, taking a hard push over to Kappa. It's almost like these guys are completely mirrored. This is amazing.
Yep. 12 small pulse, Brawler, Timberwolves, Brawler, Griffins. This is...
Legio is just kind of chilling or waiting for the team or something, but here they go. ER smalls for Legio. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 10 small pulses, just a little bit cooler running on one of those gargoyles, and then a little bit longer range for the other one with the ER small lasers. Of course, the Griffin 2Ns bringing 4 SRM6s, dual oxides. So they're doing a little bit of a, I guess, a ring around the rosy right now. Got one group heading to Epsilon, one going to Kappa. They're seeing each other. Cap advantage currently in favor of GBOG. So at some point, these guys are going to have to send some sort of scouting team, I would think, to see where each other are. I mean, they're obviously watching the cap points, but how do they know that they're not about to get jumped on? Who knows? But it seems...
this is an interesting strategy to keep everyone grouped up in a tiny group of 8. You know, you don't have a lot of information. You got a lot of firepower, but you know, you don't have a lot of information about what's going on around you.
At least I can try for some pretty cool camera angles or something while we watch that mini-map to see. They're all looking. They're looking. They don't know where their opponent is, but they're watching for it to see. Maybe there's some Oxide will stick his head up or something.
Up to look around.
So that, yep, the Legio is taking a look.
Looking around here. Yep.
They're going to take a look. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your names, guys. I honestly have no clue, but feel free to correct me. Feel free to correct me in chat. So we do have movement on Theta. Legio has sent somebody over to Theta, so they are going to have the 3-2 cap advantage now.
Yeah, they want that means 3 cap. Put some pressure on them.
It's going to be on GBOG to make a decision. They can't continue this ring around the rosy. They'll never get Theta back. They'll always be 2 caps down on the side. 2-2 on the side. So they're okay. Legio took a turn. They are not going for Sigma. They cut in. They had an opportunity to just flip it right back over again, but they're actually going to leave it in favor of GBOG, and they've had enough of this.
And this Oxide is looking now. He's hunting for the enemy team at this point.
Strategy has switched up for Legio. They have decided they're not going to do this running around anymore. They're going to take the fight to him. They're going to have their lights gather some of that information, and we're going to have... I'm assuming these guys are going to get high ground, and then they're going to jump on them from above. So we're going to have one hell of an interesting brawl on our hands here. Very fast-moving decks for both teams. We haven't seen the likes of this at all so far this tournament, so I can't wait to see how this one plays out.
Yeah,
looks like we're going to have a battle, though.
Send their lights to get to Kappa, and it looks like they are. Their lights are splitting off to engage that one light at Kappa for Legio. The rest of them seem to be heading more towards the...
We have one Gargoyle very spread out from the rest of his group. He could potentially get jumped on here. He is very far ahead. He's going right into it, though, face-to-face with the Timberwolf, and he is starting to get pelted. The Griffin 2N jumps right over his head, takes it into the backfield, but he is 1v3. Von Patoso just threw his mech away, but one dead for either side. They ended up taking out that Gargoyle in the initial confrontation. This is an insane firefight.
This is a wild brawl.
My God, there's just lasers going everywhere. The Timberwolf about to go down for Legio. He does. It is 2-all on both sides. This is such a hard corridor to fight in. SRM's flying back and forth, but it looks like they...
3 quick kills.
3 quick kills in a row. They got GBOG now on top by 1. But percentage is dropping quickly. The Griffin 2N down to 23%. Still alive. 19%. Getting pelted in the back. He must be sticked at this point because they're switching off of him. he is going to be an easy cleanup after this is done, but only 2 left for Legio. The Oxides are the only things left. This guy is stuck down in the pit, needs to try and bail out and maybe reset the match a little bit. They can still do work. The Arctic Cheetah is the freshest mech for GBOG. If they can reset the fight a little bit. Big strike kill in the backfield. Drymaker drops one as he's leaving and ends up taking out the sticked Griffin, and he's trying to get out of the fight here. That was actually...
And the other Oxide Drymaker's he's getting tailgated by this Arctic Cheetah. He has to break off, get a little bit of range between the rest of the team.
I don't think that was the Jenner Oxide that dropped that. It might
wall.
have been, but my God, what a good strike to keep it alive. He needs to get out of the fight, though, as quickly as he can. They are behind on caps right now. He can't do this much longer. That Arctic Cheetah is right on his butt. Well, the Arctic Cheetah is chasing him around. Can this other Oxide get in there and make some of these kill shots? Not if he's going to allow himself to get large pulsed like that, though. He's going to have a Jenner 2C on top of him quick. He needs to land these hits.
That Jenner 2C might leg himself.
If he doesn't take out this Jenner 2C quickly, he's going to get pounced down by the Black Knight. Cannot be exposing himself to that Black Knight. He does get the kill.
And he does get him.
He's going to go up against the Black Knight now. He can do some significant work here if he can land his shots. Black Knight is very deadly. The Arctic Cheetah has recalled, and now the 2 Jenners have reached each other. The fight is still ongoing. They're trying to take out that Hunchback 2C. This is a close fight. That Black Knight, though, is doing significant work, and the Arctic Cheetah is able to take him out down to the last Oxide left, 1v3, and they do take him out with the large pulses. Good effort by the Legio Oxides there to try and pull this one out, but they had a tall order, and that Black Knight was there to do some work right up until the end. My God, what a fight. Holy cow.
Look at the damage by that Oxide White Crow. 631 damage on the losing team. That's tough to take.
Absolutely. That initial Griffin jumping right in there. The 2 Griffins, I think it was Von Petoso, jumped right over the heads of that initial gargoyle, went right into the backfield, essentially 1v6, and just threw his mech away. That's one that I think he's going to wish he got back. He didn't actually distract them and deal any significant damage at all. So that was just an offering to GBOG, just saying, take my mech.
Free to go.
So he gave that Griffin away at the beginning. He didn't really do much of anything. The 2 Griffins did not really make a presence. I think if they were able to do even a little bit more before losing their mechs, that would have been a significant difference for Legio. But that was definitely a close fight there. Absolutely a close fight.
Yeah, that was a really close fight. I think those Oxides did have a chance. Unfortunately, one of the Oxides missed a couple clutch shots there at the end. It took him a little while to take that Jenner 2C down. By the time he did, the Black Knight was on top of him. Even there, both Black Knights were both cored legs, almost dead. Another shot or 2 on those legs might have finished off the deal. Just wasn't able to get enough time to do that, and were taken down very efficiently by those Black Knight pilots. Great job getting their shots on target.
Definitely. Those were very, very close decks to each other, and that was intriguing. Those gargoyles with the small pulses in such a small area of terrain like that. Goodness gracious. So, right off the bat, Legio just basically took it all the way around the map, and we saw a mirrored strategy just all the way around the map, essentially. At some point, and I don't think they made multiple rotations around, but basically after they got into swapped positions, pretty sure Legio took it down right down the middle here.
Yeah, they came down the middle.
And they actually stayed in the low ground and twisted around back into here. And then they were met by a reversal into here, because they obviously GBOG had to worry about caps at that point. They had a 3 cap on Kappa, Theta, and Epsilon, and GBOG only had Sigma and Gamma. So the 3 cap was in place, very spread out points. The fight needed to happen, and that is exactly what happened in this very small area right here. A massive
very
brawl.
Crowded.
Very crowded. There probably was a little bit of team firing going on. I would not be surprised in that such a small area to fight. But those small pulses doing some work, and GBOG comes out on top, just barely. I mean, that Arctic Cheetos the Arctic Cheetos in pretty good shape still. We'll give him that. So I think that they were comfortable with the cleanup at the end there, but it's still, they had opportunities to get that much closer with those dual oxides. Not sure how much ammunition they had left. Dual oxides at the end is very risky when you have limited ammunition. They might not have the amount of damage they dealt. They sent so many SRMs downfield. They could not have had very much left in the tank. So wow, that was just intense. People dying both sides rapidly. Good focus. It was just the sacrifice of those two Griffins could have made all the difference and flipped it the other direction.
Absolutely.
And some really well-placed strikes there as well. Like the fadeaway airstrike to take out that sticked Griffin, just get him off the field to take that scouting information out of the way. But didn't end up making a difference, but just some very impressive piloting from both sides, and awesome. That was absolutely a fun match to watch. Next up on the docket, we are going to be bringing you Bros of Steel versus TCAF Go Rush. That'll be the last match of the day, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much. Honestly, I'm just going to say it right now, I've been more entertained by the European matches than the NA ones.
Yeah, I agree.
NA is going to have to step it up, guys. You guys are going to have to step it up because these have been entertaining from top to bottom. So, last one of the day, Bros of Steel versus TCAF Go Rush. Stay tuned.